Hey people, it is Friday, March 29th. The time is 3:58 in the afternoon. It's currently about 5 Celsius. And today is Good Friday here in Canada, which is a stat holiday. And we're at the foot of Yonge Street here, looking north. Queen's Quay and Lake Ontario are just right to my south. And I thought I'd take a walk north along downtown Yonge, just to see what is open on Yonge Street on a statutory holiday. Yonge Street, surprisingly enough, has an exemption on most stat holidays other than Christmas Day, where businesses are permitted to open. So I just thought we'd take a walk along the main street of downtown Toronto on Good Friday to see if it's busy or if it's quiet, what is open and what is closed. And I might go as far north as Bloor Street. There's a look up at the future tallest building in Canada, Sky Tower, starting to make its way skyward. That will eventually reach 105 stories, 345 meters. So the southernmost part of Yonge Street is a bit lacking in restaurants and retail. It's very auto-centric, being just a way for people to get on and off of the Gardiner Expressway, which will be passing underneath momentarily. Once we get north of Front Street, that's where we'll get a look at how busy Yonge Street is today. Lakeshore Boulevard. Yeah, I think I'll just duck across here. And the usual construction diversions here. In Toronto, no sidewalk goes unobstructed, as I like to say. Tried to step over the yellow tape, but somehow it still got tangled around my leg. The latest stupid trend sweeping the nation, intentional backfiring. That used to be a sign that you had to get a tune-up. Now it's something people want their cars to do for some ridiculous reason. We got a crazy strong wind here right now. There's the second phase of CIBC Square rising. It'll be a twin of the first phase, just a tiny bit taller. I'm saying help go. And emerging from underneath the rail corridor. And things should start to get a bit more interesting in just the next couple of minutes. Let's also see how many times I have to cross the street or detour around a construction site as we make our way north up Yonge. Patience indeed. It's not so bad when you're a pedestrian, but for those who try to drive through this, I could see why they lose their patience. Maybe they shouldn't be driving through this. Seems like torturing yourself. And we're almost at Front Street. There's the Hockey Hall of Fame. And the awesome Dominion Public Building, soon to be overshadowed by its towering new neighbor. St. Lawrence Market is off to the east there. And you'll see these little markers all around the city. That's pretty cool. Charles Dickens. The hotel is long gone, but there was a hotel there that he stayed at one time, all those years ago. Probably never imagined in his time that things would look like this now compared to how they looked back then. Now, this part of Yonge Street is passing through the financial district, so it's a bit light on restaurants and retail. This is the old Irish Embassy pub building here. There's a proposal to build a huge skyscraper on top of the building, while retaining it. So as long as it's retained, I don't really have a problem with that. I'm not sure if it's still open for business or not. Doesn't seem to be much going on right now. I imagine once construction is underway, the pub wouldn't be able to operate, but maybe once construction is complete, it would be able to reopen. I'm just guessing. Hotel Victoria, charming little boutique hotel. That's just recently reopened as a hotel. It was used as a shelter for several years during the pandemic. All seems to be back to normal now there. And here's the first diversion due to construction. Or the second if you include the one at Front Street.
Baut irgendwas.
There's an extra you gotta get.
One King West Hotel and Residence. It's in a classic historic building. An early skyscraper of the era, complementing its historic neighbors. All these early Toronto skyscrapers date from the early 1900s up to about the 1920s. At one time, this one was the tallest building in the city. That was the Royal Bank building. Looking down King Street, looking west. This Starbucks on the corner is closed for renovations. It'll be reopening. I can't stop, sorry. Yeah.
I love your hat.
So I assume this will be reopening in the near future. It's quite lively. Craft. I see lots of people inside there. I assume most of the restaurants will be pretty busy all along Yonge Street. And we're approaching Adelaide. Another beautiful building. Yeah, everything is open. So if you're just stuck to Yonge Street, you wouldn't even know it was a stat holiday. It seems as busy as any other regular day. It's quite a contrast. You go to some other cities on Good Friday, and downtown is a barren wasteland. Dining Coffee Company. I noticed this is opening locations all over downtown. Richmond Street.
Think my thoughts on why I was a lot.
This is the awesome Confederation Life building. And more construction here. Saks Fifth Avenue and the adjoining Hudson's Bay store. And crossing Queen Street. This is the Ontario Line construction for the new subway running under Queen Street. Another landmark here, Elgin and Winter Garden Theatre. It's two theaters stacked on top of one another. So we're walking past the Eaton Centre, the gigantic downtown shopping mall. It is open today. I think it's the only major shopping mall open in the city today. Yonge Street gets a special exemption because it's considered a tourist area. Let's just take a peek inside, and then I'll just duck back out. it is extremely busy in the mall. I guess if you wanted to go to the mall today, this is your only option. So people might be coming here from far and wide to get their shopping fix. We'll head back out at the first exit up ahead, I see. It's a bit too crowded in here for my liking. Even the exit here is under construction. Oh, it's nice to be back out into the fresh air. Everything is open as far as I can see along the street. The claw machine arcade is pretty packed. Looks like somebody won a big bunny rabbit. GameStop is packed. As a fast walker, this can be a bit frustrating, trying to make my way through the crowds of slower moving people. And Yonge-Dundas Square. Anything special going on here today? It's a big lineup here. they handing out free M&Ms, perhaps? Snap a pic and enjoy a free pack of M&Ms. You can be sure when free things are involved, the lineups form. That's pretty cute, though. Who doesn't love M&Ms, right? And of course the bicycle delivery guys on the sidewalks, weaving through crowds of people. Typical Toronto things. I always love walking through Yonge-Dundas. I don't know why it gets such a bad rap. There's no place else in the city that comes close in terms of energy. You feel like you're really in the center of everything here.
Walk signs on for all crossings.
I think the TTC is running on a reduced Sunday schedule today, which is still far better than most cities' regular rush hour schedule. Toronto does transit very well, as much as people complain about it. And this is definitely worth checking out, Little Canada. Awesome new attraction. Let's see, miniature cityscapes and landscapes representing all sorts of Canadian locales. I've been before. I did a video, if you're interested. That was a couple of years ago. It's grown since I went. I might have to go back for an updated video because they keep adding new sections to it. I'm not sure why they closed this entrance to Winners here. A nice street front entrance here. Now you have to enter through the Tenor building at Yonge-Dundas. Five Guys is, it's always busy. We're walking through the Muzak zone, as I like to call it here. And this stretch here has really sprung back to life. It had a bunch of vacancies, and in the last year or two, they've all begun filling up with new businesses. It's good to see. And the TMU campus right over here, formerly known as Ryerson. And there's a second claw machine arcade that just opened up not too long ago. Those seem to be all the rage now. If you go back to the 80s and into the 90s, Yonge Street was lined with arcades, but the old video game and pinball type arcades. And those are all gone. famous Zanzibar. Yonge Street was once lined with strip clubs, and now only 2 remain. Let's cross the street here, so I don't have to walk underneath this large construction scaffolding. Major new skyscraper on the rise here. The Line 1 subway running underneath the street. Free drink. I'm surprised there's not a lineup here. We're at Yonge and Gerrard. There's the downtown IKEA. I just recently did a video walking through that store, as well as all the other stores here at the retail base of the Aura condo, including the possibly deadest mall in the entire city. College Park over there. And if you do have to get some groceries, the Metro store inside College Park is open today. Maybe the only major full-scale grocery store open downtown. There's also a Farm Boy in the complex, but it's more over on the Bay Street side. I'm not sure if that would be allowed to open since it's in the same complex as the Metro. And more construction here. Yonge and College. I'm going to cross here. So we've come a fair distance so far. Well, the character of the street changes somewhat here once you go north of College. Still busy. There's just many more restaurants along this stretch. And many new residential towers are also springing up all along here. This is how they incorporate some of the historic buildings into the new developments with varying degrees of success. This one's interesting, that this sort of glass frontage here, imitating what once was there. They did preserve the old clock tower here, though. This used to be a Wendy's. It's for lease now. I think that building is slated to be redeveloped, so I'm not sure what sort of lease is up for offer there. Hey, a new place is opening here. That's good to see. All these retail spaces just recently became available at the base of this new residential tower. There used to be an old strip mall style building there that wasn't much to look at, but it had some pretty interesting businesses and it was always lively. The building didn't really fit in with downtown Yonge, though. So it replaced an older building that was lost to fire in the 1950s. So I think having a couple of major residential towers is definitely more fitting for a street in the heart of downtown. And everything is open as far as I can see along the entire stretch. I think it goes as far north as Bloor, the part of Yonge that is exempted from stat holidays. I might be mistaken.
1 hour.
And we're at Yonge and Wellesley. New building is looking good. I like how it doesn't have balconies that are visible. You don't see too much of that left on Yonge Street anymore. Coming soon. More still vacant retail here at the base of this relatively new development. It's been here for a while now, but these have yet to fill up.
Yeah, I have another review that I paid for, so I don't have to do it.
The Bootmaster, I always get a kick out of this every time I walk past. ABC Books still going strong, or at least hopefully going strong. And so many new Asian restaurants have opened up along here in the last 4 or 5 years. It's added a lot of vitality to this stretch of Yonge at night because they tend to stay open fairly late. Whereas the old retail stores that once dominated here would close usually at 6 p.m. or maybe 9 p.m. on certain nights. And here's the old Scientology building looking as derelict as ever. They still own that building, but nothing is being done with it. It's just sat vacant for the last 10 years at least. There were plans to renovate it and put it back to use. Nothing has come of that. Some live theater. This Popeye's location was the site of a recent fire, but it looks like they'll be reopening. The one at Yonge and Adelaide is closer to me anyway, so that's where I would usually go. I guess that's closed. The entrance is somebody's home now. And we're at Charles Street. And we're almost at Bloor. Just another couple of blocks. I'll let this guy with the music playing get ahead of me. Well, maybe not. I'll get ahead of him. He's on wheels, I'm not. And the sidewalks are still busy all the way up to just about Bloor Street. Even Chick-fil-A is open on Good Friday. Kind of strange. They close on Sundays due to religious reasons, but they are open on Good Friday. And the ballroom is now open. Ballroom Bowl. It's a bowling alley. And I think a new Nike flagship store will be opening here. This is where the Nordstrom rack used to be, but Nordstrom pulled out of Canada. And we're at Bloor Street.
Yeah, he's really mature. Like he acts.
So we started the walk at the foot of Yonge Street, where there was a super tall skyscraper under construction. And we're ending the walk up at Yonge and Bloor, where there's another super tall skyscraper under construction. Almost an hour later, I wonder how many other cities can say they have two super tall skyscrapers under construction almost an hour walk apart from one another at opposite ends of their downtown. And Lululemon's flagship store is opening soon on that corner. But I'm going to start to wrap up the walk here. So I hope you enjoyed a little Good Friday walk along the length of downtown Yonge, all the way from Queens Quay to Bloor Street. And I have to say it was busy the entire way. Everything is open along Yonge Street on this statutory holiday, and every other stat holiday other than Christmas. So if you're ever in Toronto on such a day and you want to do anything, this is pretty much your only choice. So leave a comment down below if you enjoyed, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal as well as via my merch store. And there's also a super thanks button down below, or you can become a channel member if you prefer to support the channel in those ways. You can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue